I was on this other stream and I got annoyed. I think there's like something in my personal zeitgeist where I'm getting really annoyed these days by pseudo intellectuals.
Oh, say more.
I'm gonna try to do it chronologically, I guess. I think I really noticed it starting when this person said that there are only 2 clefs in music. You know what a clef is?
Like bass clef and treble clef?
Yeah. So those are the 2 well-known clefs.
Okay.
But if you just open the Wikipedia article for clef, right away you see there's 3. Right?
There's alto, yeah.
Yeah. There's actually like a lot, but the thing is, it's not super agreed on what counts as a clef. So you have, for example, this stuff going on, right? So you could say, arguably, there could be 12 clefs even.
Gotcha.
But I didn't want to go that. I just say there's definitely more than 2. You can argue about exactly how many, but there's more than 2. And the other thing is the word clef itself is a little bit undefined or underspecified, because there's 2 things you can refer to by clef. There's these 3 things, which are like the symbols independent of the score, which are called G clef. Like this is vaguely shaped like a G. I don't know why this is called C clef. And this F clef is vaguely shaped like an F, right? But then there's also the clef when it's positioned on. And so this is the soprano, the alto. And so when you say treble clef, you're talking about the G clef placed at that specific position, because you can place it somewhere else. Like here, this is the French violin clef, right? Which is different. But it uses the same symbol, which confusingly is also called a clef. So clef can refer to the symbol, or it can refer to the symbol plus the position.
Right. Okay. And that's when you noticed yourself getting annoyed?
Well, the guy, he was arguing that there's exactly 2. And I'm like, it takes 5 seconds to look up online and realize there's more than 2. And here's a Wikipedia article. Like, here's a screenshot from the Wikipedia. This is on Discord, right? So I take a screenshot of that. I say, here are some links to YouTube music theorist teachers all talking about, here's a bunch of clefs. Here's an article. Yeah. But he wouldn't budge.
Right.
He says, no, there's only 2. And he's like, I've been a trumpet player since high school. Yeah, that's how I know there's only 2.
Why do you think, because that's always existed, right? Why do you think it's bugging?
So there's that.
Now?
There's the whole Trumpism of denying facts in reality, right? Like 5 seconds, I can show you the Wikipedia article on clef to show that you're wrong. And similarly with Trump, there's 5 seconds internet search to show he's wrong about something. Doesn't matter. Not only him, but he has a circle of people. I forget the name of the woman who's basically the PR spokesperson. Carolyn Levitz or something like that?
Yeah.
Constantly reinforcing what Trump says. And he has a social circle that supports him.
I mean, he was president before, and these things were problems, and I don't remember you being annoyed by that.
Yeah, but I don't feel they were that much of a problem before. I don't know why. Does it not feel like there are factual statements about the world which are being contradicted by certain people, and that's causing a big problem now in a way it wasn't causing before? For example, whether the Supreme Court is ordering Trump to return Abrego Garcia, I can't remember his exact name, to the US. That's sort of a factual question. It's not exactly, if you want to get really metaphysical or physical about it, like in terms of physics, but there's a factual stance on that, right? And this is important. It involves his life. This guy is suffering based on your interpretation of what you believe the answer to the question is.
Sure.
And I feel like that wasn't really a thing that happened in his first term.
Really? Interesting. I feel like it happens so often that I'm like, oh, this is the new post-fact world we live in, and I don't, like, I'm now less bothered by it, weirdly, because I'm just sort of like, oh, this is just...
Well, can you give me an example? Like, educate me what's something he did or said in the first term?
I mean, I feel like everything he said?
Yeah, but that's hard for me to learn from, right?
I know. I'll come up with a good example.
Okay, so it's like chronological, right? So there's 3 events. So the clef guy, Trump, and now the third one is there's these co-study streams on Twitch where instead of streaming someone playing video games, they're streaming themselves studying like a college student.
Oh wow. They
What?
just stream themselves studying?
Yeah, so they'll be
Sorry,
sharing
I
the
know I'm getting
screen.
distracted, but like what?
They're sharing the screen. They have like their web browser or their PDF open, and they're just reading through the article. And usually in the corner, you know, like where I have the VTuber thing, like in the corner, they'll have the Pomodoro timer, for example. And the idea is like
Why is this a thing?
it's to help with loneliness, I guess, maybe. So like people in chat will join in, and they can also use it as it's a well-known practice. I think we're all acting as commitments to each other, so we all study. And so she's studying, and she has her PDF and she has her Pomodoro timer, and then you can go and chat, and then you can also study also. And then when it rings, we all take a break together, you know, and then that type of thing. Anyway, she's
You don't
studying.
know these people, right?
Well, I mean, I talked to them
Sorry.
in their Twitch chat.
So distracted by them. Okay. Okay.
And I guess like some of them I don't know that well, but some of them I'm like, hey, add me on Discord, let's be friends, whatever, right? So I know them in that sense.
Okay.
So she's studying statistics, and actually this is one of the persons I became friends with. Like I added her on Discord, and I said, hey, send me your textbook because I also want to learn it. And so she sent me the PDF to her textbooks, and so I'm also trying to study. It's like actuarial risk management, that type of stuff. Anyway, so this guy comes in. I think it was actually a girl, maybe, I don't remember. This person, they come in and they see, so the streamer's studying actuarial risk management, so probability, right? They're saying like, what's the probability? It's almost like Bayes factor type stuff, right? It's just like, we want to classify people based on gender, and they have a risk of cancer, and like 300 out of 600 males got cancer, and 200 out of 400 females got cancer. And so what's the error rate if we use gender as a prediction for the cancer or whatever? That sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And the guy, the person, the woman, whoever it is, they're like, oh, you know, like they're teaching you this all wrong. Let me tell you how to do it, right? Like you should use Feynman diagrams.
Oh god.
You know what Feynman diagrams are? Let me show you. It has nothing. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt at first. When they said Feynman diagram, I only know one Feynman diagram, which is for particle physics, right? You're talking about electrons and positrons and emits, you see, in this Feynman diagram, an electron and positron annihilate producing photon. I'm like,
that gonna help?
yeah, I'm like, this is the Feynman diagram I know, but like, did Feynman do a different type of diagram that's used in statistics?
Maybe it's a different Feynman.
That's how like, what are you talking about here? You're talking about the thing from theoretical physics?
Right.
They didn't directly answer my question, because obviously that would expose them as a fraud or whatever. But then they start saying like, you know, you got to use quantum physics or something like that. And then when they start saying that, that's when I realized, like, yeah, this person's full of shit, right?
Right.
Because they were like, oh, you know, because quantum physics is all about probabilities, right?
I mean,
And I'm like, there's so many problems in probabilities where reaching for quantum physics would be the wrong tool, and you're just gonna make your life more like, you know, you have a 50% coin flip. Yeah. What do you do? Like, you don't bring quantum physics into that to solve that problem.
Don't do it. It's gonna be trouble.
So at first I gave them the benefit of that, but like after, I don't know, 3 or 4 lines of messages that they sent, 3 or 4 messages, it quickly became apparent to me that what they're trying to do is they're like, I want to appear smart, so I'm going to think of the most difficult topic I can think of and claim that I understand that, and that that's the right way to understand whatever you're working on. And probably no one in the chat knows that topic, so no one will catch me when I spout bullshit.
Right.
The bad luck for them is that I actually know a little bit of quantum physics, so...
That's so odd to be like, oh, I will gain status by telling you that you're being taught wrong and that I know a better way to teach you. But like, it's not a way that works.
Yeah, it's not going to work. But the thing what they're gambling on is that they're just going to like reference quantum physics in some way, right? Like Feynman diagram. Just say the word Feynman diagram, for example, right? And you're not going to learn it. You're not going to learn statistics from that because it's the wrong tool. But then you're going to be like, oh, it must be because I'm dumb and they're so much smarter than me, right? Like, that's why I didn't learn it.
Really?
Not because they're a bad teacher.
That's so interesting. Okay.
That's my hypothesis about what was going on there socially.
Right. Yeah. It seems odd to me. It seems so... parasitic, I guess?
I'm okay with people not knowing stuff, right? If you don't know quantum physics, I'm like, that's fine. It doesn't make you less of a person. I don't care. But if you pretend to know quantum physics and try to put down other people like that, you know, it's like that's...
Right, exactly.
That upsets
that's what
me.
I mean. I'm like, what an odd way to try and get status.
And so I see that also with the Clef thing, right? Like he says, "Oh, I've been a trombone player for all my life, or whatever," and you're wrong if you think. Or
To me, that
also,
feels like the person but taught that and then like can't be flexible about it, or feels like admitting that they're wrong would
yeah,
feel
and so the admitting you're wrong is also
Like,
part of
that
it,
at
I
least-
think.
Yeah, that at
Mhm.
least feels more plausible. Like it's not great behavior, but like I at least get it.
Yeah. Well, also like the Trump thing, right? When like a reporter will be like, "Is it really true that he has MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles?" or something like that, right? And Trump will be like, "Oh, your news outlet is going, it's terrible. Nobody watches your news outlet."
Yeah.
So just
Right.
putting you down, right? Like when you are the one who doesn't know anything.
I don't know. He's not coming in and saying to somebody else like, I know how to do statistics. Like Trump has never once.
Well, I think he
You know.
is the type, like he might have said that specific thing, but has the personality type of that, I think. You heard recently, I think it might have been today or yesterday, he wants to redesign fighter jet engines. Did you hear about that?
The F-35, we're doing an upgrade, a simple upgrade, but we're also doing an F-55. I'm going to call it an F-55, and that's going to be a substantial upgrade, but it's going to be also with two engines because the F-35 has a single engine. I don't like single engines.
What does he
No,
know
but-
about fighter jet engines? He doesn't know anything.
Right.
Like this is so Dunning-Kruger, like you literally know nothing about it. Like why?
don't know
Why are you?
anything.
Why are you dipping your toe into this topic?
Yeah. My theory about Trump is that he has a language disorder, and people will sometimes ask me how language disorders can turn into, because they can turn into narcissism. And I think he's such a good example of that, is that like he has learned that words really kind of have no meaning in his world. They don't have to have meaning, like literal meaning.